Do you trust yourself? Probably not. Hear me out. If we had a friend who was constantly like, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to come see you, I'm going to do this for you, da da da, saying all these things, but never actually doing them, we would think they were full of hot air, that they were just talking shit, and we would literally not trust anything they said. So, why do we feel like it's any different when it comes to ourselves? Think about it. If you're always telling yourself, I'm going to get up, I'm going to work out, I'm going to wake up early, I'm going to drink more water, I'm going to do all these things, but never actually do it, you are slowly chipping away at your self trust. You are slowly starting to subconsciously program yourself to believe that you are untrustworthy. The same standard that we hold of other people, we hold of ourselves probably even more. And a lot of it can be subconscious. Like we don't even think like, oh, do I trust myself or not? But if you are never keeping the promises that you make to yourself, you are slowly telling yourself that you are not a trustworthy person. And so you do not have self trust within yourself to actually do and stick to the things that you say you are going to do. And when it comes to any area of our life, it's so important that we have that self trust, that we know that we are going to keep our word to ourselves. And it's so funny because, especially as women, we are programmed to like make sure we are the best friends we can be, the best mothers we can be, the best people we can be when it comes to everybody else. But for some reason, we don't have that same desire to be the best version of ourselves for ourselves, right? Which is why it's so easy for us to let go of promises and things we say to ourselves, but it's really hard for us to do that for someone else because we want to be seen and we want to be good friends, good mothers, good family members. And so, yeah, it's really important that you develop that self trust and then you maintain it. And that's with any area in your life because the thing is, like, if you never keep those promises to yourself and you don't have that self-trust, every time you embark on like a new endeavor, you're going to have this voice in the back of your head being like, yeah, but we're not going to stick to it. Yeah, but we're not going to do it, because that's the pattern that you've reinforced within yourself and that's the belief you've reinforced within yourself. And so it's going to be easy to fail or to stop or to not do the thing because you already don't trust yourself enough to actually do it. But there are ways to rebuild your self trust. Trust me, I have done it myself because I literally didn't trust myself to do anything. And even still, sometimes I find myself like, if I'm starting something new, I have to like remind myself, like, I'm actually going to do this. I promise I'm actually going to do it, because that little voice sometimes creeps in and is like, you're not really going to do this, sis. So, how to actually rebuild self trust is to just start keeping the promises that you make to yourself, no matter how big or small they are. Like, literally, if you're like, hey, I'm going to wake up earlier, wake up earlier. I'm going to drink more water, drink more water. Whatever the promise is that you make to yourself, it becomes a non negotiable. It is something that you are going to do no matter what because you made that promise. Now, the key is, and personally, this is what I think the key is when it comes to rebuilding self trust, especially if you're at a place where your self trust is really, really low, the key is to start small. Part of the reason we're able to like throw away a lot of our promises to ourselves is because they are too big. They feel too lofty. They feel like too much of a commitment. And so it feels like too much work, right? So we're like, oh, forget it. Like, I'm not going to bother doing it. The key is to start small. So, like, make a tiny promise to yourself, whether it's I'm going to wake up early. Instead of being like, hey, I'm going to wake up an hour early, maybe it's tomorrow I'm going to wake up 5 minutes early, then the next day I'm going to wake up 10 minutes early, so on and so forth, until you're able to actually keep those promises to yourself. The smaller the promise is, the easier it is to keep. And even if it's really tiny, that is subconsciously reprogramming your mind to know that you are a trustworthy person and you are going to actually keep the promises you make to yourself. So start small. If it is working out, start with, I'm going to do 10 minutes of movement every day. Slowly reinforce that you are going to keep your word to yourself, and then you can keep expanding those promises and making them bigger as you go along, because you will have developed that self-trust within yourself to actually stick to the thing. So drop in the comments, let me know, do you trust yourself? Be honest with yourself, because this was a huge self-reflection I had to do within myself to realize, like, yeah, I do not trust myself to actually do the things that I say I'm going to do. And it was so game-changing for me to actually realize, like, okay, I want to be the trustworthy person that I am to everybody else. I want to be that to myself. So drop in the comments if you feel like you are trustworthy to yourself. And if you're not, what's the one tiny promise you are going to make to yourself today that you are going to start keeping every single day? And yeah, that's it. I hope you guys liked today's video, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.